Good morning, everybody.
Great.
So I just want to say thank you very much for everybody that gave me this wonderful opportunity. I appreciate it very much. Looking back now, I see how much the time in Zambia changed me. I went there thinking I was going to serve, to help, to give, to make a difference. But in the end, I received so much more than I have ever expected. When I arrived there, soon some of the Riddick family welcomed me. When we got home, the kids showed me all around, all the animals and everything, and made me feel very at home. It was unfamiliar, but the Riddick family made it easy to settle in. During those first few days, Birdie kept me busy. One of our first places I went to visit was a new church where they started a feeding program. Not long after that, I got sick for 3 weeks, and it was really a tough time. I remember wondering, if I were here serving God, why am I sick? Of course I know it wasn't true, but at that time it was hard. When school started, I helped out there. I was learning. It was a big learning curve, especially with the language barrier. Most of the kids didn't speak English, but somehow we managed to understand each other. They laughed when I tried to speak their language. It was fun, but the joy of those little moments made it all worth it. Later we took a trip to the lake. It was a long drive. It was 700 kilometers. We drove 12 hours. We stayed overnight at the Chinese hotel. There was no towels, the water was freezing, the doors didn't work, there was no blankets, the blankets had holes, but it was fun. The next morning we got ready to leave on a small plane. It was very bumpy, and the plane would fall from side to side, and your stomach felt like it's sitting in your throat. While we were at the lake, we visited the orphanage. It was close to the border of the Congo. Some of the children came from the Congo. There was just so much need. They can only feed so many, and the children that had parents was looking worse than the kids at the orphanage. Other days we were painting the new orphanage the men built in the village that was close where we stayed. Sometimes we learned the women to crochet and to do knitting, something for them to get an income. One night there was a lady conference, and Mr. Kent and one of the American pastors, he preached at it. Some of the women came from far. They slept on the floor with nothing except maybe a little blanket. The area was very remote. There was no shops or hospitals for miles. Just land and water. People lived often off fish and what grew. Life was very simple. On our last day at the lake, we visited the village. It was a long journey and the wind blew hard. The waves were like sea waves, but they were say that was a normal day on the water. In one of the villages, one of the ladies on our team, Miss Beverly, shared a story with the kids, and Miss Ken talked with the men and the pastors. At the last village where Mr. Beverly shared the story, the kids stood a while away from her, but as the story went on, they came closer and closer. Back at the farm, school started again. I continued helping the orphanage and tried to teach the kids how to draw. Most of the time it ended up me doing the drawing and they coloring in. In between, I started drawing pictures for the school, and it was something I could leave behind. And in between, Mr. Jim came, one of the Americans. He worked in the jails. Some of the orphanage children come from there. He told us what it was like there. The prisoners didn't have family or friends to bring food, they would have nothing. Then came the final night. The children of the orphanage came saying goodbye. They stood together and sang to me. It was hard. It was a very special moment. I tried not to cry, but it was very hard. Zambia taught me to be present, to be patient, and to trust God, even then when things doesn't go the way I expected. And for all that, I'll always be grateful. Thank you so much.